Hello, in this video we look at Bodhicaryavatara, chapter 6, verse 35. Pramadadatmanatmanam badhante kantakadibhi bhaktachedadibhi kopadurapastriyadilipsaya. I'll call up the text for you. There we are. Pramadadatmanatmanam badhante kantakadibhi bhaktachedadibhi gopadurapastriyadilipsaya. So there is no express subject to this sentence, just they, people, the people we're talking about. The verb is badhante. This is a verb meaning from the root bad. Originally, it was actually from a Proto-Indo-European root bed, which in English turns up as bend. But the meaning that it's acquired in Vedic and then in Sanskrit is to oppress or to torment. And it can be parasmaipada or atmanepada, it's both. And so you'll have, for the third person singular, badhati or badhate. Here we have the third person singular, the third person plural, atmanepada badhante, means they torment. Whom do they torment? Atmanam, themselves. Remember that Atma, meaning self, of course in Hindu philosophy, there's the Paramatma, the higher self. We have the Buddhist doctrine of Anatta in Pali, Anatma in Sanskrit, meaning the doctrine of no self. But this word Atma or Atta in Pali has a much more ordinary meaning as well. It's just used as a regular reflexive pronoun. So when we say that somebody is tormenting himself, is atmanam, it's the accusative atma, atmanam badhati, or atmanam badhate. Note importantly that this word atma, it has a plural, atmanaha, genitive plural, atmanam. When it's used as a reflexive pronoun, where in English we'd say they torment themselves. In English, where the verb is plural, the subject is plural, we use selves, themselves, ourselves. In Sanskrit, and the same applies in Pali, when Atma is used as a reflexive pronoun, it's always used in the singular, even though the subject is in fact plural. So, badhante atmanam, they torment self, literally. In English, we say they torment themselves. They torment self in the singular. So you'd never see atma in the plural form in the context of a reflexive pronoun. Here we've got a double pronoun, double reflexive pronoun, I should say. So this atmana, this is the instrumental form by oneself, and then atmanam, accusative oneself. It's somewhat pleonastic. They torment themselves by themselves. I suppose it had some emphasis, but they're the only ones doing it, that nobody's doing it to them. They're tormenting themselves by themselves. It emphasizes that it's just a self-centered loop. So, atmana, atmanam badhante, by themselves, they torment. Out of what? Pramadat. So pramada, our old favourite pramada. I've done a note on it in the glossary. In fact, I do encourage you to, if you want to dive deeper into these words, where I have the word down in the bottom box with double colon space and then the word. That means that it's dealt with in greater detail in the explanatory glossary. And pramada is, of course, a key word in Buddhist doctrine, pramada, and its opposite, apramada, Pali pamada and appamada. So we can loosely translate as heedlessness. The idea is kind of rushing forward, kind of losing your mindfulness, losing your sense of self-control and knowing what you're doing, and rushing into something, getting carried away. So often translated as heedlessness, intoxication, and so on. So this is the ablative here, pramadat. This is the ablative of cause, so through heedlessness, from heedlessness, out of heedlessness, by reason of heedlessness. So out of heedlessness, atmana atmanam badhante, they torment themselves by themselves. And the remaining words are instrumental plural, so kantakadibhi and bhaktachedadibhi and durapastriyadilipsaya. These are all instrumental. So kantaka means a thorn, with the next word adi. Adi on its own means a beginning, but when it's used as the second member of a compound, it means something like etc. and the like, and other things. Basically, if the kantaka adi means thorn beginning, mean a list of things, a whole series of things, but beginning with thorn. So kantakadibhi, by thorns and such like, by thorns and other things. And bhakta chedadibhi, bhakta, food, from the root bhaj, to eat. Bhakta, that which is eaten. Cheda means cutting. So bhakta cheda, literally food cutting. So cheda, chid, can mean to cut something in the literal sense, cut with a sharp instrument. It can also mean cutting off, as in cutting off the supply of something. So bhakta cheda, food cutting, cutting off your supply of food by voluntarily, I suppose it means here voluntarily, just stopping eating. So bhakta, and remember always that the where a word begins with a ch, if it's preceded by a short vowel, the ch will always double. So actually I can make this into a single ch. So the word on its own, cheda, preceded by a short vowel, is in bhakta cheda, the ch is automatically doubled. So bhakta cheda adi, so food cutting, etc. So by cutting off your supply of food and such like things. And again, this is an instrumental plural, adibhi, means by food cutting and such like things. Gopat, gopa, is out of anger. We've got several words for anger. The two most common, or the most common of all, is krodha, Pali kodha, and the other, I would say, the second most common one is gopa, meaning anger. And here we've got the ablative of cause, just as in the first line we had the ablative of cause, pramadat, out of pramada, and here we have gopat, out of anger. Durapastriyadilipsaya. So they torment themselves. I'm not quite sure whether the kopat is meant to go with the previous words. So where are we? Bhakta Chedadibhe or Durapastriyadi Lipsa, which one Kopat is meant to go with. Maybe equally with both. Maybe you get so furiously angry with yourself that you cut off your food and get upset by the desire to obtain desire for unobtainable women or unattainable women. So Durapastriya dilipsaya. I'll unpack this for you. Um, the root lub. I'll call up the iPad for you. Oops, root lub. Oops. Means to get or to obtain. Turn this off. Oh, sorry. It's cut off my iPad. Let's link it up again. Here we are. Here we are. So lub, to get, to obtain. Actually, it's the same as lab in Latin. Labor, work, which we have in English, more British English is an O-U-R, labor. So in Sanskrit and Pali, lab means to get. In Latin, the same root is used to mean the work that you need to do in order to get something. So, oops, H, lub. Now, to make a desiderative noun means the desire to do something. You add sa to the root. So this would be lub sa, but it's not that. So first of all, before an S, a b would have to become a p. You very often find in these desiderative nouns that the vowel changes. That's where the a becomes an I. So lipsa. So from the root lub, to get, lipsa, the desire to get, the desire to have something, the desire to obtain something. Durapastriya di lipsa. Now this is the instrumental form, lipsa, the singular. It's a feminine noun with a long R, lipsa. This is the instrumental form, lipsaya, by the desire. So it's one of the means by which people torment themselves, by the desire to obtain or to win what? Durapastriadi. Get the iPad up. So the root up, meaning to get or to reach. Um, with prefix dus, which then by Sanda becomes duch or dur or dush, depending on what follows is dur. We just add, this now becomes an adjective, so we just add an ah onto the end of the root to make it now an akaranta adjective. It's an adjective ending in a short a. So durapa means difficult to obtain. Remember that this prefix dus, dush, most commonly means something bad or wrong, but it also very frequently means difficult. So durapa means difficult to obtain, rather like with the following kara, meaning doing. Dushkara does not mean badly done; it means difficult to do, and therefore just difficult. It can also mean lacking in something. So bala, strength. Durbala doesn't mean bad strength; it means lacking in strength, and therefore weak. But here we have it in the sense of difficult. So durapa, difficult to obtain, therefore unobtainable. So durapa, a woman is stri. So durapa stri as a compound would mean an unobtainable woman. Now we want to add adi and so on and the like, but stri adi. Note here now that this e, and the same happens with a short e or a long e. It's followed by an a. Oops. So it is. Oh, sorry, I'm making this up. Followed by an a, and so it becomes a ya. So stri adi becomes striadi. So durapa striadi. And again, durapa striadi lipsaya. So lipsa, the desire to get, through the desire to get, durapa stri, unobtainable women, adi, and the like, and such things. So pramadat, of course, without the sandhi, but because it's followed by the vowel pramadat, atmana, atmanam, so atmana, atmanam by sandhi, badhante, kantakadibhi. So badhante, they torment through pramada, through heedlessness, through kind of rushing after what they want, or indeed don't want. Through heedlessness, badhante, they torment atmanam, themselves, atmana, by themselves. How? By what? By what means? Kantaka adhibhi, by thorns and the like, by thorns and etc. and other things. Bhakta chedadibhi, the again instrumental plural, by food cutting and such things, in other words, and cutting off the supply of food, stopping eating, and similar things. Kopat, through anger or out of anger. Durapastriyadilipsaya, and through the or by the desire to obtain durapa stri adi, unobtainable women, etc., and that kind of thing. So I'll read it again slowly. Pramadatmanatmanam badhante kantakadibhi bhaktachedadibhi gopadurapastriyadilipsaya. And once more. Pramadatmanam badhante kantakadibhi bhaktachedadibhi gopadurapastriyadilipsaya. And that's it on this video.